Good afternoon, everyone. The 211-212 budget for the Ministry of Transport has a allocated sum of some $79 million. Of that, $76 million is on the current account and $3 million on the capital account. This ministry has an interesting mandate. We are responsible for effectively supervising transportation systems in Bermuda. That's land, air, and sea. Whatever moves, we're responsible in some way. To oversee, and we're also responsible to oversee a comprehensive and effective public transportation system. Each department within our ministry is doing all it can, all possible in the coming year to spend less and to increase revenue. However, having said that, when you actually see the budget book, the Department of Civil Aviation has a significant increase in its budget, and that's because civil aviation and along with the Department of Maritime Administration are two departments that bring us foreign currency earnings. Most of the taxation we've discussed here today is the result of government having to go to Ms. Smith and Ms. Brown and Ms. Dill and collect some monies from them to operate our facilities. However, in the case of these two departments I mentioned, the money comes in from overseas, and therefore we want to support those departments as much as possible. And so if you see the development of the Department of Civil Aviation, you'll see that only 3 years ago our total revenues were some $8 million. They increased to 16 and now on the way to $20 million. And so we need to build the infrastructure to continue to be able to generate those revenues. And so you'll see that in the budget book this year. Also, looking at the other side of the coin, for the Department of Maritime Administration, we were paying a rent bill of some $180,000. We've renegotiated that, trimming $40,000 off our rent bill, and I think that's a contribution that we'll make towards savings for the government. With that in mind, we have looked throughout the ministry and talked with our outside contractors, and in 2 cases we've made significant reductions on existing contracts. Contracts that had time to run, 1, 2, 3 years, but the other party was able to sit down with us and look at how they, like us, can deliver more for less. So we're expecting, in fact, an increase in the quality of the service, but we'll pay less for it. So this is the type of thing that this government is committed to. Another example is the ministry headquarters formerly was in Sophia House. As you may know, we now are located in the TCD building. We have redesigned the facility there to make more space for more people, and we will have a significant saving there as there will no longer be an outside expenditure for our ministry headquarters. Within TCD, we have revamped the Trucks Advisory Committee. This is the committee that advises the minister on what happens with trucking in Bermuda, and we are going to be seeing trucks being required to work within their permits. That doesn't quite happen today. Sometimes the trucks are doing a lot of things that they aren't supposed to be doing. We're going to tighten that right up in the coming year. Another thing that we've already announced, of course, is the study into the taxi authority. I'm pleased, let me say I'm very pleased that all of the bodies related to taxis, those bodies who historically have enjoyed beating up the minister, are now happily working with us in regard to the taxi authority. We are doing some other things with the taxis. We think we'll keep them on board. As long as I don't call 3 magic letters, we're all right. What's that? With regard to the Department of Public Transport, again, we will provide a more economical bus service with limited resources in the coming fiscal year. Both the ministry and the union are working together on the introduction of a new bus schedule. We are probably about 80% along the way there, and we're hoping to have it in place early in the new fiscal year. This has the magic effect of increasing employment. We will have to hire new bus drivers, but saving $500,000. Now, isn't that a trick? Doesn't everybody wish they could do that? But yes, that's in fact what will happen when the new system goes in place, and we're working very hard to get it there. The Minister of Tourism talked about the importance of the airlift into Bermuda. Our ministry within the Department of DOA, Airport Operations, takes this responsibility very seriously. Over the past few weeks, we were informed of a reduction in airlift coming out of Canada. What we had in the past year from WestJet, they've suggested they'd like to reduce that. We've been told of a potential reduction in airlift out of New York from JetBlue. We have committed to sitting down, talking through that, going up to talk to both of those parties, and my intent is that by the time we get to the start of the season, the airlift will be more than it's currently scheduled to be. We will do our very best to ensure that whilst tourism is attempting to bring more and more people to Bermuda, that DOA ensures that there are flights for those people to fly on. So you can expect to hear more about that as we go along. As has been mentioned by the Minister of Tourism, we are very excited about AirTran coming to Bermuda out of Baltimore. The lift out of Baltimore is going to be significant. We will be expecting many tourists, but we'd also like to invite the Bermudians to have to go up to John Hopkins to fly AirTran as well, to make sure we fill those seats. So let's use that as our airline of choice for medical reasons. How's that sound? And also marine imports. Marine imports, along with PTB, have a very important job of dealing with the movement of people on our cruise ships. As I've announced previously, this year will be a record. 380,000 people are expecting to come to Bermuda on cruise ships. It's up from 340 last year, and last year was very challenging. This year will be even more challenging, but as I said earlier, we are working very well with the taxi industry. I expect that to extend through the summer, and the relationship that's being forged now will almost guarantee that the movement that's required will be there, and we will be able to get the results we're looking for. Unfortunately, because of our cash restrictions, we will not be having a new ferry this year. We would have liked to have had a new ferry. All of our ferries that needed refurbishment and work received that work over the course of the winter, and so we expect our ferries to hold up this year and to provide the service we want, both for the tourists and for the local market, and we're excited about that. You know, much has to be done, and much has to be done with less. But I'm pleased to say that we have, across the ministry, committed staff, committed people who know the importance of transport to Bermuda, and I believe that this year will be a very successful year in transport. Thank you.